Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping straight into understanding market trends.
Right.
Think of this as your quick briefing on how to spot what's heating up, what's cooling down, and, how your business can actually act on these shifts.
hmm
We've pulled some really key insights from cognitive market research, and our goal for you is simple. Get you armed with actionable knowledge for growth, but without the overwhelm.
Yeah, keep it practical.
Exactly. Expect some maybe surprising links and things you can use right away.
Absolutely. And market trends, at their heart, they're really just shifts, aren't they?
Yeah.
Changes in what customers want, how they act, what they're asking for.
Okay.
And in today's world, business changes so fast. Getting a handle on these preferences isn't just nice to have.
No, it sounds crucial.
It's essential
Yeah.
for staying competitive, staying relevant.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. Why is being aware so critical? It feels like it touches, well, everything in a business.
It really does. Being tuned in directly shapes your strategic choices. Everything from, that first idea for a product, designing a service,
Right through to marketing?
right through your marketing details, and even like your big picture company direction. It's about making sure what you offer actually lines up with what the market needs now and what it's going to need next.
And it's not just about sort of keeping up, is it? The research mentions a real competitive advantage.
Exactly. If you can see these shifts coming, you can grab that first mover advantage.
Oh, okay.
The companies that spot trends early and, crucially, act on them. They're often the ones that become industry leaders. They get the chance to innovate first, tailor their stuff perfectly, and, grab customer attention.
So setting the pace, not just following it. What also struck me was the connection between trend awareness and maybe something less flashy, managing risk.
Yes, that's a fascinating point. Understanding where the market's heading helps businesses avoid, well, pouring money into areas that are shrinking.
Right, avoiding dead ends.
Precisely. By focusing investment where interest is growing, they dodge potential financial holes. Good market research gives you the data for that.
Yeah.
It cuts down the guesswork in making those big decisions.
Which leads nicely to a key idea. Businesses use trend analysis to find patterns, connections in the data.
Mhm.
This helps them understand not just right now, but also sort of predict future trends for, say, new products or planning their marketing.
Spot on.
So let's get practical. How do you actually spot these trends? The article points strongly towards social media.
Oh, definitely. Platforms like Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, they're more than just places to chat. They're like real-time gauges of customer behavior.
Gauges. How so?
Well, you see preferences evolving, interests popping up, people share opinions, talk about new things openly. It makes these platforms, frankly, invaluable for market research today.
It sounds like a massive amount of information, though. Like trying to drink from a fire hose. How do businesses actually sift through it all?
Yeah, good point. That's where social listening software comes in. It's kind of like having a giant ongoing focus group.
Okay.
This tech monitors conversations online, looking for patterns in how people talk about products, companies, whole industries even.
So it finds the whispers before they become shouts.
Exactly. It can pick up on trends that aren't mainstream yet but are definitely gathering steam. It looks at the feeling behind the mentions. Are people happy, annoyed? And it spots recurring topics and new buzzwords popping up around your field.
Interesting. Like tapping into the collective mindset of your market. The article also mentions influencers playing a role here.
Yes, absolutely. Influencers are often, right at the cutting edge within their specific niches. They can shape trends.
Hmm.
So watching what they're promoting or talking about can give you early clues about what might take off next because their followers often adopt similar tastes.
That makes total sense. They're like early warning systems in their communities. And there's a more direct way too, right? Just asking people.
Yeah, direct engagement, using
Yeah.
things like polls, surveys, even just reading and responding to comments. It gives you a direct line for quick feedback.
On specific products or ideas.
Exactly. On products, promotions, or even just floating an idea about a potential trend you're seeing. It's about actively listening and checking the pulse in real time.
So social media is this constant live feedback loop. Now, the research really hammers home the advantages of being proactive with this stuff. It's not just about reacting when something's already huge, is it?
Definitely not. Being proactive gives you massive benefits. It lets you stay competitive, sure, but it also positions you to actually lead the market.
How so?
By spotting trends early, you can anticipate what customers will want next and adjust your products or services before everyone else does. That gives you a clear edge over slower competitors.
And the article links this proactivity strongly to innovation. Can you elaborate on that connection?
Certainly, when you jump on a trend early, you get the chance to create something new that really hits the mark for evolving customer needs.
So it meets a need that's just emerging.
Precisely. And that doesn't just strengthen ties with your current audience. It can open up totally new customer groups, driving real growth.
And we're back to risk again. Seems like looking ahead is vital for financial health.
It really is. Knowing the market's direction means smarter investment choices. You put resources into growing areas, right? And you avoid sinking cash into markets or products that are fading out. That cuts down financial risk significantly.
It sounds like being proactive also makes your marketing sharper, more focused.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
You can tailor your messages, your campaigns, your special offers so they align with what's current and what's coming. Your marketing just becomes much more relevant, more effective.
Okay, so we've covered social media, the power of being proactive. The article then switches gears a bit, looking at search behavior, like on Google.
Yes, search engines like Google are incredibly useful trend indicators. Why? Because they show you in real time what people are actively looking for.
What they want right now.
Exactly. It reveals current demand, shifts in tastes, needs, behavior as it happens. It's like watching the market's collective curiosity unfold. And don't just look at the main search terms. Check out the related queries too. They can point to adjacent needs, maybe unexpected innovation paths.
That's a good tip. And the research specifically calls out Google Trends. How would a business use that effectively?
Google Trends lets you track how popular certain keywords or topics are over time. You look for spikes in search volume.
Right.
These surges show you which products, services, or ideas are gaining momentum. For example, maybe searches for eco-friendly packaging suddenly shoot up. That's a strong signal of growing consumer demand for sustainable options. So businesses can then adapt their products or their marketing messages. Also look for the breakout queries and trends. Those are terms exploding in popularity very recently, indicating a potentially fast-moving shift.
That's a really concrete example of turning data into business intelligence. And it's not just about spotting brand new things, right? Seasonality comes into play too.
That's correct. Tracking search data also reveals those regular seasonal or cyclical patterns. Searches for garden furniture spike in spring.
Sure.
Knowing these predictable peaks lets businesses time their promotions or product launches much more effectively, catching the wave of interest.
So it helps uncover the new and optimize for the known. Okay, the last major piece discussed in the article is the continuous need for market research to stay competitive.
Absolutely essential. Consistent market research gives you that ongoing stream of insights. What are customers thinking now? How is the industry changing? What new opportunities are appearing?
It keeps you informed constantly.
Yes, and that continuous observation is key to predicting market demands before your competitors do. That's a huge strategic advantage.
And it feeds back into that innovation we talked about earlier.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Good research helps you spot trends when they're just starting, maybe still quite small.
Like faint signals.
Exactly. That early awareness gives you a window to develop products or services that perfectly match those emerging needs. If you're one of the first, you can establish yourself as a pioneer, attract those early adopters who love trying new things.
It really sounds like it boils down to knowing your customer inside out and anticipating what they'll want next.
That's a huge part of it. Plus, market research lets you fine-tune your marketing. Understanding the latest trends helps you adjust your messaging, your offers, everything, so it really resonates with people's current interests.
Makes your campaigns more effective.
Much more effective. You build stronger connections than competitors who might be sticking to older messaging.
And finally, research helps you avoid the pitfalls, the declining areas.
Yes, identifying which market segments are losing steam is just as important. It stops you from wasting resources there. Instead, you focus your energy and money on growth opportunities. That minimizes financial threats and sets you up for, long-term success. The bottom line is market research helps a business be proactive, be innovative, and strategically outperform the competition.
So if we boil this all down, the key takeaway from this deep dive, looking at the cognitive market research findings, is really this. You need to consistently monitor and analyze lots of different sources.
Right.
Everything from, the live chatter on social media to what people are typing into Google and back it all up with solid, ongoing market research. That mix gives businesses the intelligence they need to see trends coming and actually capitalize on them.
Absolutely. Making trend identification just a normal, continuous part of how you operate.
Yeah.
That's how businesses adapt, innovate, and really thrive in this constantly shifting marketplace.
And on that note, here's something to think about. With information moving so incredibly fast these days, what other places, maybe less obvious ones than social media or search engines, might be giving off those very first faint signals of emerging trends? Think outside the box. Where else could those early clues be hiding? Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.